Welcome back to my channel. This video is aimed at millennials, but it can also be for anyone who is feeling this crisis. Are you familiar with the millennial midlife crises? Well, I wasn't familiar with it either until recently. I spoke with a young lady that was very depressed about not having the things that she wanted, where she thought she'd be in life at this time. She thought that by the time she was 30, she would be married and have a child and just be much more settled than she is. But life has not worked out the way she thought it would. And now she's just very miserable. And I'm going to use my notes here because I don't want to miss any of my points. There's a sense of entitlement with a lot of people. And with this millennial crisis, a lot of you feel like you should be much further along in your life than you are. I get it. I understand you want what you want when you want it. But that's just not real life. There are things, the way the economy is and with prices being what they are, it's just not possible for you to have everything that you want when you want it. And you also have you have this on your own timing. You decided a long time ago that you wanted these things, and you set the timeline. You said that you wanted to be here by 30 or by 33. You wanted to have A, B, and C. Well, you left God out of the equation. We can't decide when we're going to have all of these things because life happens, and it doesn't happen the way we want it to. It's just life. So anyway, this sense of entitlement, you have to get past that. And this young lady that I was speaking with, she has it in her mind that she deserves all of these things. For instance, she feels like she will never be able to buy a house, for instance, because she's renting now and she just doesn't have hardly any money left. And she had very little, less than $100 in her bank account. But yet excuse me, my allergies. But even though she had less than $100 in her checking account, she still got her nails done. Well, nails are not a necessity because it costs a lot of money to get your nails done. And you may not realize this, but the more you get your nails done, the more you need your nails done. It's like cutting your nails, trimming your nails, and getting your cuticles clipped and all of this. It stimulates the growth. I used to get my nails done every 2 to 3 weeks because my nails grow really fast. And I realized a long time ago that I needed to stop that because it was like $70 by the time I paid to have my nails done and my fingernails and a pedicure. And then I tipped my person who was doing my nails. It was $70. And doing that every 2 to 3 weeks, it adds up. And so what I want to tell y'all is that if you're interested, and if you will comment and let me know that you're interested in learning a new way, I will show you how to do your own nails, because your nails will be beautiful with this. And they're like 10 bucks a piece at H-E-B or whatever your grocery store or drugstore is where you shop. But here in Texas, we have H-E-B. And we also have Sally Beauty Supply. And if you go to a beauty supply store, you buy your nail file, your toenail clippers, fingernail clippers, cuticle clippers, and some tweezers. And you can do your nails while you watch TV or something. You do them at night, because it's going to take, at least a couple of hours or so. I give mine a couple of hours so I can make sure that they're completely dry before I do anything else. And this will last for about a week, and maybe longer if you use rubber gloves while you wash dishes and things like that. But you have to remember that you can change your behavior. If you change your behavior, you can have a lot more than you think you can have. And what I mean by that is you can afford a lot of the nicer things in life that you can't seem to afford now, because you're thinking retail for everything. And you don't have to think retail. For instance, have you thought of resale, buying gently used clothes? This is a Juicy Couture jacket, as cute as can be. And look at this. This is a $200 jacket. $200 jacket that I bought for 10 bucks. Look at this. A Calvin Klein sweatshirt, cropped sweatshirt, as cute as can be. 4 bucks. Now we all know that to buy Calvin Klein, it's going to be more than 4 bucks. You buy it retail. Here's another, a Lauren Conrad jacket, $68. New. These are new. Sometimes clothes are gently used, but oftentimes when you go to a thrift store, you can find them with the tags still on them. This is a Ralph Lauren denim supply. Still has the tags on it. This is a over $200 jacket that I got for like 10 bucks. And for the guys out there, I didn't forget about y'all. This is a guy's shirt. It's a $100 shirt, tags still on it. So you don't have to sacrifice the things that, you don't have to sacrifice your style and the quality. As a matter of fact, you can get much higher quality by going to the thrift stores than you can by going to the mall or going to, some people go to Walmart. Nothing against Walmart, but what I find is that the quality is not there. It's like cheap fashion that comes and goes, and it doesn't stand the test of time. But if you change your behaviors, you can have the things that you want, and you can have the money to do certain things. But this getting your eyelashes done, I know you enjoy doing that, but you can't afford it. You need to stop doing that and buy some mascara. That's what we used to do. Remember before they came out with the lash boutiques? All of these things are consumable. You're making somebody else's dreams come true. You're allowing them to be able to afford the things that they want by charging you for it. You're paying for people to live in nice homes and drive nice cars and buy nice retail clothing. Because when you shell out all of this money constantly, every couple of weeks, or I've never had my lashes done, so I don't know how long those last, but I would imagine they don't last more than 2 weeks or 2 to 3 weeks, something like that. And how much does that cost you? You have to think about it. And for those of you who think that you will never be able to afford a home, you can afford a home. You just are not talking to the right people. And as I mentioned to y'all before in a video, I am a licensed realtor here in Texas. And there are ways that you can buy a home. There are programs for first-time home buyers that you can buy a home with basically no money down. You can get a grant. And if you get a grant, it doesn't have to be repaid. It will pay your closing costs, and that will enable you to purchase a home. But if you're in debt up to your eyeballs, you can't buy it. You need to have good credit, and you need to have not have your debt to income ratio so out of whack. If you have a bunch of credit cards and a car payment and all of your other bills, then no, you're not going to be able to afford a home unless you curb your spending and get your spending under control. And once you do that, pay off some of those credit cards, and then you will be able to afford a home. And one thing that I recommend to people that you can do is you can buy yourself a home and have an investment property at the same time. If you buy a duplex, your tenant on the other side, in the other unit, will be paying the bulk of your mortgage payment. And you will basically be almost living for free, rent-free, in your side. And you get an FHA loan, and it's only 3.5% down. And as I said, if you learn about the grants and the first-time home buyer programs that are available around the country in different places, they're all over the country, and there are different ones, and some of them have no income restrictions. So you could make $70,000 a year and still qualify to get a first-time home buyer grant. So it just depends on which one you get. So don't think that you can't be a homeowner, that you won't ever be able to afford one. You will be able to afford one if you just change your habits, change your behavior. And I know none of us like to change our behavior because, again, we want what we want when we want it. And you can have it, you just can't have it all at the same time. You have to start from somewhere. Okay, the next thing I want to talk to you about is, if some of you are blaming your parents because this young lady that I mentioned earlier, she said that her parents made it look so easy. Her mother made everything look easy, and she thought life was going to be easy for her too. Well, she doesn't have any children, and she said, how did they do it? How did my parents do this? She said, I wish they had shared with me if they had struggles. Well, that's not what we do as parents. We don't want to burden our children with the stresses of life, because you can't help, and there's no reason for us to burden you with that. Your job is to go to school, get good grades, and do your extracurricular activities, and let us figure out the rest. And that's what we do. But now that you're in the real world, you have to learn that you can't have everything today. We have to learn to practice delayed gratification. And I know that's a dirty word in some folks' vocabulary, but it's the truth. The other thing that I want you to think about is, you are thinking about yourself 24/7. You're thinking about yourself and what you don't have because you're on social media and you're looking at what everybody else has and what they're doing, and you think that you should be able to do those things too. You don't know what how other people are accomplishing what they're accomplishing. Some of the people that you admire and envy on social media are doing what I just recommended to you. They're buying their nice clothing from thrift stores. They're secondhand. They're pre-loved, pre-owned, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've done that for years, and anyone who knows me will tell you that I dress very well. And you can do that when you're buying for a dime on the dollar. So if you're willing to do that, also you can do it too. But you're never going to be happy if you only think of yourself, and you're always thinking about what you don't have, and you're never looking at and appreciating what you do have. One of the things that I would like to ask you to do is to start keeping a gratitude journal. A gratitude, and I would like for you to have just a nice little journal that you enjoy writing in. Or if you don't have the money to do that, then you can just have a loose leaf notebook or whatever. You can find those all over the place, a composition tablet or, a pad or anything to write on. And I just want you to write down 5 things every evening, every night before you go to bed. Don't wait until it's time to go to bed and you're sleepy. Do it before that. Write down 5 things that you're grateful for that happened today. For instance, I'm grateful that I made it to work today, and I made it to work safely because we had a little bit of snow and ice in Texas, which is unusual for us. Not this time of year, though. This time of year, if we're ever going to have it, it's going to be in January and February. But you're grateful that you made it to work safely. You're grateful that you made it back home safely. You're grateful that you didn't lose power. You still had electricity. You didn't lose water. I saw someone on the news this morning that they have been without water since December 31st. And their apartment complex, there are 7 buildings. And the apartment management has opened up 5 apartments that still have water, and all of the tenants from all 7 buildings are having to share those 5 restrooms. Can you imagine? That's just unbelievable. But if you have water and you have electricity and you have gas, or your heat may be electric also, but if you have those necessities, that's something to be grateful for. If you have food, that's something for you to be grateful for. And money to put gas in your car. And a running vehicle, that is, when I say running, I mean operational. I want you to start thinking about these things and focusing more on what you do have as opposed to what you don't have, because your life is so much better than you even realize. You don't realize how wonderful your life is. There are so many people that have had to spend the night at these warming centers. We have, and regardless to where you live, there are probably people that are homeless in your area, just like it is. They're all over the country. But especially during times like this, when it's super cold, we've had the coldest weather here. Last night, it was 19 degrees. That's the coldest it's been in I don't know when. But imagine, we were able to stay in our own homes or your apartment. They weren't. They needed to go to a warming center so that they didn't freeze to death. And that's something for them to be grateful for also, that we have warming centers for them to go to. So I just want y'all to start thinking more about just how blessed you are, because you really are. All of the rest of these things will come in time. You just have to take the timeline off of it, because you have to remember that God is in control and God has a plan for your life, just like He has a plan for everyone else's life. And if you take the timelines off of it and do your part, if you do your part, you will get there. But if you're not willing to participate in your own success, then you're just slowing down the process. So I'm not asking any of you to get off of social media, because I know that's probably not going to happen, and that's okay. But just remember, social media is not real. What people are posting is the best parts of their lives. They're not showing you their dark souls of the night when they're curled up in a fetal position, because they may not know how they're going to pay their car payment. They may be one paycheck away from being homeless. You don't know what other people are going through, and just because it looks nice and it's bright and shiny and you wish you had that and you wish you could go on that vacation, some people are going on vacation and they're using their rent money to do it. And they buy their wants and beg their needs. Don't be that person. So let me get back to my list now. Like I said, you can have it all, you just can't have it all at the same time. I want you to focus on how you can improve your life. Are you willing to try some of the things that I have talked about today? If you're not willing to try it, then you're asking for a life of misery. Life is completely amazing. It doesn't mean that you won't have challenges. I love my life. I am at peace. I have joy. It doesn't mean that I don't have struggles sometimes, because it's life. We all go through different challenges in life, but it's just life. And that's what I want you to understand, is that you are not alone. There are lots of people that are having difficult times, but some people they create their own struggles, their own challenges, by making unwise decisions. Don't be that person. You don't need to make the unwise decisions. Also, when it comes to your friends, your friends may be able to go out and spend $100 on dinner and drinks and, wherever y'all go, wherever if you go somewhere that there's a cover charge or whatever, they may be able to do that. And then again, they may be racking up an enormous credit card bill that's going to come back to haunt them later. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses, because just because it looks like they've got it all together, it doesn't mean that they really do. So just know, again, what you see is not always the reality of the situation. Also, what I want to leave you with is that you have everything that it takes to be successful in this life. You're going to have to change your way of thinking. If you've picked up some of these bad habits of thinking that you can have everything you want when you want it, you have to get your lashes done, you have to get your nails done. You don't have to have those things. Those are not necessities. You can do your own lashes. Maybe you need to go to the grocery store and buy some lashes and learn how to put them on yourself. Maybe you need to do your own nails. Maybe you need to start checking out some of the resale stores, the thrift stores, so that you can get very nice clothing without paying those high dollar prices that you've been paying. You can do this. But again, if you're not willing to change, nothing changes. But I know that you can do it, and I hope that you will do it. And if you have any questions for me of how you can do it, how does all of this work, just leave them in the comments and I will respond to you, because I understand you need help. And I don't want you to walk around being depressed, thinking you're the only one who can't afford nice things or the things that you want, because you're not the only one. Again, there are so many people that are living a lie, and it looks like they've got it all together, but they really don't. And I started shopping at thrift stores so many years ago. One of my friends turned me on to it, and I had no idea what a treasure trove it really was. And because I learned years ago to start shopping smarter, it allowed me to save money so that I could spend the money on the things that really mattered. And I'm not saying clothes don't really matter, because they do. Our appearance is important. Your appearance opens doors for you, and it also closes doors on you if you don't appear in a presentable fashion, in a presentable manner. And I want y'all to remember that you can do this. You definitely can do it. You've made it this far in life, and I want you to be as happy with your life as I am with my life. And again, my life, it doesn't mean that my life is without struggle. Everybody has challenges, myself included, but those challenges are passing. They're not here to stay. And if you can go through the challenges without losing your cool and thinking that it's the end of the world, then you too will find peace and joy and contentment in your life, because you will be doing the things that produce those states of mind. But if you're going to spend every last dime, and you're going to run up your credit cards and all of these things that don't produce a good outcome, or that cause you to worry about how you're going to survive, you're creating your own misery. Please don't do that. So I'm going to leave it here. But again, I know that you have everything it takes. You're smart. You're very intelligent. You can do this. It's a wonderful life. Let's live it. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.